ITNation Connect Global 2025. What an event. The largest ITNation of all time, the most attended. I have not personally missed an ITNation since 2007, and that was 100 of us in Tampa. Now it's grown to over 4,000 in Orlando. Incredible breakout sessions. I had the great opportunity to have a speaking session on how MSPs and businesses can grow through media and podcasting. Podcasters Row was the greatest we've ever seen at an event yet. There were studios set out for 8 podcasters, including myself, and the events at night, the concert, the Universal Studios, the vendor hall was incredible, the partner pavilion, I believe it's called. The vendors were fantastic. I was also able to attend the initiation, the first timers. Brad Shaw always invites me to that, and I really enjoy that. Wonderful event. I had the great fortune of having 13 incredible conversations with some incredible guests. Lawrence Christiana, I've been talking with Lawrence for so long, and we finally got together. Our schedules were such where I actually recorded this in my hotel room the day before. I made a makeshift studio, but Lawrence and I talked for a long time. Incredible insight. Really appreciate Lawrence's perspective, and I look forward to working with him in the future. Stephen Yu, I've known for many years. Their adaptive catalog, the puzzle mindset from chessboards to boardrooms. Always enjoy talking to Stephen. Everything's a puzzle, and he just figures out how to bring it all together. Blake Myers, first time I met Blake there at Blue Mirror, one of my favorite companies to work with. Blake is a very interesting young man. 8 seconds of chaos when bull riding taught a cybersecurity pro. He's got some other interests that are very interesting. Kate Schlarf, which I've had the great fortune of knowing now for a couple of years there. Of course, at Moovila, again, one of my favorites. Kate and her team had a great booth there, do incredible project management work to help MSPs. I was so glad to get into the cow outfit and to walk around the vendor hall. Great talking with Kate. Mike DePalma, which I've known for a very long time when he was at Datto, Kaseya, now of course at Open Text, building stronger channel partnerships with Mike DePalma. Always great talking with Mike. Christina Klein, my first time talking with Christina there at Landsweeper. Fascinating discussion from DIY remodels to data mastery. I look forward to work with Christina in the future. Wonderful talking with her. MJ Schuer, a fellow New Englander I've known for, 15 plus years. Now at GTIA, we talked about the separation of CompT and GTIA and what he does there, how it helps MSPs. Caroline April, another person at GTIA who I didn't know before this, a true journalist that has come over and is now helping GTIA and MSPs. Rick Murphy from Cogent, known Rick for a while, has gone through an incredible transformation himself, but helping MSPs in the M&A space. Christina Carretero. I've known Christina for, 3 or 4 years now. An absolute pleasure. Smart, driven, love to work with. We have a great discussion on what she's doing now there at Arctic Wolf, and have some insight on some students exchange students that she takes in. Really great conversation with Christina. And last, Caroline Goals. Oh my goodness. I've known Caroline since she was at PAX 8. She was at Microsoft before that. Great insight. Really. When I saw her there, I had to take a double take. I said, hey, come be on the podcast, please. And I'm so glad she accepted. Wonderful time there. ITNation 2025 was waiting all year for it, and it seemed to go by in a second. Thanks for watching and listening. Hi, I'm Joey Pinz, and here's my 45-second introduction. After starting my business in the 90s, I started developing poor habits of eating in my diet because of working way too much. Before you know it, I found myself 340 pounds. The doctor told me if I don't lose the weight, I'm not going to see my daughter graduate. Took the next 7 months, lost 130 pounds. pounds. People think there's some secret. Ask me, how'd you lose that weight? Like there's some secret. There is no secret. How did I lose the weight? Just one word, discipline. I've had other successes in life, and I attribute them all to discipline. Now, I'm not the king of discipline, but I believe that it can help all of us. Friends, colleagues convinced me to start a podcast. The podcast mission, how do we better ourselves and society? I talk to interesting people in health, fitness, sport, wellness, business, technology, science, art, and culture. And I eventually ask them how discipline plays a role in their life. Podcast vision, growth through learning from others. So great seeing you again.
You too.
What's a girl power concert?
All the great girl power, artists right now, like Chapel Roan, it's a lot of like feminine energy, things like that. So
are they actually classic? I've never heard
no.
this.
I was just saying.
Is this
that.
your?
Yeah, I was just like saying they're kind of generally girl power, like
I say
the top female pop icons.
And is like Taylor Swift?
I would say she is. I did not see Taylor Swift,
I
though.
say. Well, the tour ended, right?
Yeah. I never saw her. I am going to a Taylor Swift drag show in a couple weeks, so.
So there's a drag show and they dress like her?
Yes, they're doing the full Eras Tour performance, just all drag queens.
Wow.
So.
Now, I can't be surprised of this. Of course this is happening. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
she's a huge star.
She's an icon, and they can make money from it.
Yes.
So sure, why not? But
first $1 billion tour, right?
Yeah. But she's good to her tour staff. I hear she does very well for like the drivers and stuff, which I love to hear.
Yes. Plus, an incredible artist.
Yeah.
Let's just say.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think she's where she is because she's good.
Yeah.
And so, was this a I'm going to do girl power tour this summer, or you just kind of went to these shows and kind of combined like?
It was all throughout the year. So I saw Shakira in the spring. I did combine Dua Lipa and Chapel Roan were in New York at the same time.
I see.
So kind of it just as it worked out around the show schedule.
Because none of them come to South Carolina, you said.
No, we don't have a big enough stadium.
Right.
We've got one that does some, like I saw Glass Animals there this summer, but not like football stadium size. So.
I see. Do you play any instruments, Kate?
I do not. I used to be in choir,
Oh.
but that was my only musical.
So do you find yourself karaokeing?
I was with the group at the show that was karaokeing last night.
Really?
Yes, there's a whole group. They love to go to Oh Shucks whenever we're in Orlando, and I was out there last night.
I know. In this fast-paced MSP landscape, how do you stay ahead? Introducing MSP-influencer.com, your ultimate hub for MSP news, insights, and community connection powered by Forza Dash. More than 75,000 MSPs subscribe to our MSP Influencer Pulse weekly newsletter, staying informed and ahead of industry trends. Tune in to emerging podcasts from Joey Pinz and leading MSP voices, offering essential tips, powerful insights, and success stories. Explore our multi-authored blogs, crafted specifically for MSP leaders, delivering fresh perspectives and actionable strategies. Celebrate excellence with the industry-leading Forza MSP Influencer Awards, recognizing innovation, leadership, and impact in the MSP community. Join thousands of MSP professionals who trust MSPinfluencer.com to grow their business and expand their networks. MSPinfluencer.com, where today's MSP leaders connect, collaborate, and conquer, all powered by the Forza platform, helping MSP vendors work effectively with MSPs and helping MSPs grow. Howling at the Moon. No, that's dual pianos. Oh shucks, I don't know. So it's a
karaoke bar here that the whole group was like, we're going, so I went. Yeah.
And some of the selections?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I did Goodbye Earl with Ashley Cooper from Roost.
Very nice.
So yeah.
Goodbye Earl. The Dixie Chicks.
Yes.
Yes. Dancing Queen always gets a lot of attention at...
Someone did request that, but I think they ended up not showing up for their moment.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And what happens then? Lots of booze?
Yeah, they just skip you.
I see.
But there was some rap. Threat Locker was up there with some rap music, and there was just kind of all over the place. So.
How did I miss this? This was off campus. I don't know this bar. Is it on International Boulevard? Must be.
Yeah.
They
I
all
think
are.
it's kind of between here and the Hyatt.
I see. How many of these have you been to? ITNations.
This is our third. So it's my third and our third.
ITNation here in Orlando, 2025. It's going to be a huge event. What are some of your goals this week, Kate?
We're always working on brand awareness with our cows and kind of all around, but we've got a new product launch this week that just came out today. It's called Project Hub, so really helping educate both customers and new prospects about Project Hub and how it can kind of help them. And then, just networking with general industry people, figuring out new partnerships for the future that we can do to help MSPs that we work with.
Moovila is a very unique space because MSPs sometimes don't realize they are working on projects. They do need this help.
Yes. A lot of them don't realize they need it until they're kind of sitting in chaos and they're like, I don't have a person. I don't have, the resources. I can't forecast out. I can't tell what's going on. That's actually one of the other things we're doing here is talking about our annual research report that just came out last month, where we've been helping benchmark MSPs and helping them know kind of where their peers sit so they can know if they fall behind, what percentage of their profitability should come from projects and things like that. Because there was no one doing it, not even service leadership.
Really?
They do a little bit about projects, but they haven't historically done a ton. So we really wanted to dig in last year and focus on that. It was the second year of it. Had over 250 MSPs.
It's incredible.
Answer the survey, so like unique accounts, companies, and a lot of interest in people wanting to learn kind of what others are doing in the space.
Can a Project K always be defined as non-recurring revenue?
No, there's recurring revenue projects. A lot of, there's some cybersecurity ones where, people will do like a monthly cybersecurity project for their clients, or they'll do like quarterly, depending on what they want. But it just kind of depends on their business. We're starting to see some of that, especially as cybersecurity is so hot, people adding more of that recurring revenue project, but it just kind of depends on how they structure their business on what they're doing with that.
So what does the Project Hub do, this new product rollout?
So it is a library full of templates created by MSPs and for MSPs. We kind of did it in partnership with some of our existing partners. And the goal is to give people the stepping stones to really launch their project management processes. If they don't know where to start, we give them preset templates that have durations and dependencies that really build out the core of our system, which is the project timeline.
Templates help a lot in that area. People don't want to recreate the light bulb. Right?
Exactly. They don't want to recreate the wheel. And honestly, we find a lot of MSPs are willing to share with each other. We actually launched it. We weren't sure if we would be able to, but we launched it with templates from a couple of our partners.
Wow.
As well as the ones that we've been giving people for the last few years, but it's something we would just load in now. You can go in, you can download it for yourself. You can pick by category. Maybe I'm doing an OS 365 migration and I want to see how someone would typically handle that. You can download it and then customize it to your work type. So to the people, or maybe you have certain steps you don't do or you have to add on, but you can kind of at least have that building block, which will allow you to have the more accurate timeline and forecasting, which is really important to get more mature in your project processes.
Yeah, timeline and forecasting, yeah. So the three things that keep MSPs up at night, Kay, it's been pretty consistent last 5 or 6 years when I talk to them. Cybersecurity, they're worried about getting attacked.
Yes.
They're probably gonna get fired, they might even get sued, they're worried about that. Human capital, how they're gonna keep their people, how they're gonna get new people, how they're gonna keep current people happy. And then just general growth. They're generally tech-led. They're not good at growth. Their friends are selling their MSPs. It seems to me projects can be set up for all three of those.
It's true. Honestly, if something takes more than about 10 hours of your time, it can be made into a project. There's different things. Some people say if it's more than 3 or 5 tickets. I like to say sometimes 10 hours or a week of work. But if it's something that is repeatable and you want your team following the exact same processes, you want to know and be sure that things start and end at certain times, or that things that are dependent on others are done in the proper order, project is a great way to go.
So then how does Moovila define a project?
So, it's going to have
hours.
a definitive start and end. It's maybe broken out into phases. A lot of MSPs are doing different phases in their projects. It's going to have tickets to achieve the project, and then a big part, for us, kind of a requirement in getting the system to work well with your MSP is dependencies and duration. So not just having a list of tickets, because you can make a list of tickets in Microsoft.
Right.
But actually having the order of operations, and we can help MSPs visualize that so they can kind of see where bottlenecks, and, there's one thing that may not seem like a big deal, but, it actually can back 20 other tickets up if you don't get that one thing done. And that's really important to forecasting out better scheduling, staffing. You don't want project engineers sitting around idle.
Interesting.
So it's easier to forecast that out if you can, have those dependencies, durations, fix delays quicker, and actually tell, who's working on what when across all your projects versus just a list of tickets in your PSA.
What if discipline wasn't about punishment, but about unlocking your best self? I spent 2.5 years writing Discipline for Greatness because discipline changed my life. And I know it can change yours too. This isn't theory. Inside, you'll find real, practical steps you can use immediately to focus better, build stronger habits, reduce stress, accomplish your goals, and bring more balance to your life. Whether you're trying to get healthier, improve your career, or simply feel more control, this book gives you the framework. Start today. Grab your copy of Discipline for Greatness at joeypinz.com/book. Thank you. Yeah, MSPs and even small businesses shouldn't underrate because there's visibility there. I know when I had my MSP, scope creep always ended up into a lot of these projects.
That's very, very true. It's actually interesting. So we survey on that every year in that report. And this year, scope creep was actually the number one issue that all MSPs were citing. 59% of them were saying that scope creep is their biggest issue by and far. There's lots of other things we see, behind it with scheduling of engineers, inaccurate timelines, ability to price the project well and estimating the amount of time it takes, which templates help with that too. But that's a big thing kind of as you look at all of those different problems they're feeling, that 59% with scope creep, 57% struggling with scheduling their project engineers. A lot of that can be solved with templatizing your work.
Wow.
Templatizing, assigning, dating tickets, being able to forecast all that out against each other, and it can make you a lot more efficient.
Yes, that's the big thing. And I know I talked to Mike about this, but Moovila.
Yes.
The origin of the name.
So the name actually came from our CTO's wife, who is Brazilian, and it's an herb that kind of eases pain. So we're really focused on easing that project pain and helping you move your projects forward.
Perfect. And then purple, the Moo crew is here at the event.
Yes, that is actually a name we were given by our ConnectWise rep.
The Moo crew, yes.
Yes.
And your purple, I was mentioning, your ink is actually in purple.
I know, I'm a branded person. I've got a cow bag, purple blazer, purple ink, nothing if not a marketer.
So let's talk about marketing. Many MSPs, they're not good at it. Okay, they're tech-led. They undervalue it. They often mix sales and marketing.
Yeah.
What how can you help them? What tips can you give to some MSPs to help with marketing?
So I've been actually talking to a lot of MSPs about that here. I had a whole debate at our dinner last night about kind of what should your first marketing headcount look like. But one of the things that I've been requested, and I'm really excited to go back and kind of work on, is actually getting some project templates for marketing in the system. So some MSPs that aren't ready to hire a marketer yet, they still want to know how could they go to a trade show like this? What are the steps? Things like that. So it's kind of cool that I can kind of tie that back into the project and kind of help them with that. I'm talking with them about different things like community and social media and stuff too, but even just being able to kind of bring it and give them those building blocks is nice.
What attracts you to marketing?
I like the creativity of it and just kind of thinking about how other people perceive things and how they might interpret it or what they understand, and just how do you educate a different type of person. It's very challenging, I think.
It is.
To get something so complex and make it simple and understandable. I like the challenge.
And the difference between marketing and sales?
I think there's a fine line in 2025. I think a lot of marketing is driving sales these days. I see more MSPs and vendors going that way, where it's very inbound driven, whether they're PLG or sales led, like their sales product led growth. So like swipe a credit card,
right?
Or they are sales led and like you have to talk to someone and go through a demo and sign a contract. A lot of companies are driving that engine through inbound, seeing ads, seeing all of that type of stuff. So I think the line's getting very thin. That being said, I'm still, I can demo, but I'm definitely not as good as like our sales reps. Andrea, if you've met her, she's a rock star. Yep. And kind of getting those negotiations and stuff. But I think that like engine of getting them in is becoming very, similar, where even sales reps, you'll see them on social media doing more and engaging in communities, and part of that's just because like it's all starting to become one, I think, in 2025.
And I just find there's just kind of different mindsets with marketing and salespeople.
Yeah, I think for marketing, we're, how do you excite and delight someone and engage them, get them interested, and I think in sales, it's like, how do you convert them? How do you get them to actually use the product? So they kind of work well together. If you have a good, well-functioning kind of flywheel team to have both sides. So different motivations, but I think when you're working together, it can go well.
And where does branding fall under marketing? Or does it?
I think it depends on the company. I've worked in really large corporations where brand was over here and marketing was over here. I think it's really important for them to work together. At Moovila, we actually have it all kind of tied together. So I have a branding person that sits under me. Her name's Amanda Kubista, and she is amazing. She is behind the blurple, as we call it, the bluish purple you'll see on like all of our headshots and the background images, our cow Mirabelle. I think it's super important because of recall. So a lot of times my ads work, and MSPs that have talked to me are like, oh, I've seen you before.
Right.
You're the cow people. I saw it on Reddit. I saw it somewhere.
Yes.
It's because of the mental recall of seeing the same elements again and again. So I think it's really, really important. That's actually one thing I've talked to some MSPs about that are struggling. It's not just getting a new website. You really have to think about the whole brand and how you're showing up that people can remember. People remember us because they see the cow print stuff.
Yes, they do. And a mascot?
Yes, that was actually the channel. The channel drove that.
Really?
So when we first started a couple years ago, we had MSPs in the community saying, you're wasting, like, why not a cow? The joke's right there. You're wasting it.
Move.
And so last ITNation was our first time having cow stuff. We had our Mirabelle, our little stuffed cows.
Yes.
We did onesies last Halloween, and then we brought them to ITNation. And it's kind of just been a whirlwind since. Like, we have people asking about onesies. We actually gave them away.
Onesies.
Like the cow suit, the one-piece like pajama type thing.
That's it.
We gave them away at one show. People just kind of love the element and relate to it.
And you give it a name, Mirabelle. Does it have a backstory?
I don't think she really does
yet. Is it necessary?
I think for some companies, yes. I think for us, it's just more of a fun, unique thing, and she came out of the channel and that kind of idea. But it's definitely something we'll have to work on and think about.
Marketing, it fascinates me because it's so important, but nobody likes to be marketed to, just like nobody likes to be sold to.
Exactly.
So there's resistance, but it's unstoppable. We're marketed to all the time.
Exactly. So it's like, it's kind of all around. That goes back to the omnipresent thing I was mentioning. Like, you need to be everywhere people are, but not in an evasive way if you can help it. I think that goes a lot to the education need. That's part of why we do our research report, is like helping educate people is really a high priority to us versus just saying like, hey, buy this product. Because that just frustrates people.
It does. It does. And that research, people love those reports, right? Because they're a part of it. Those are a part of it, and these are the people talking about it. That goes a long way.
Yeah. It's a lot of MSPs will be like, I want to do this. Am I going to get the report after? So we always make a point, like the customers we know that were involved, we'll send it to them. We work with a third party to help validate it, and I know they'll send it out to people, and then we kind of start to push it out because people like to see. They want to give their data, but they want to see where they fell within that data.
Time. Is AI affecting marketing?
Yes, I think it affects people in different ways. I am actually not a huge fan of using it for like writing, which I think is what the majority of people use.
Okay.
I think it's become very obvious for some stuff and things are starting to sound repetitive, but I think AI is really good for inbound automations and research. I love to run automations around looking for like ad placements, like which new YouTube videos are out that our ad should be on, kind of a thing. So there's a lot more to how it can be used in marketing than I think some people think about. A lot of people are thinking about write a blog, make a, caption for something, but there's so many more uses.
Wow. Do you like the direction it's going in?
I do. I do think I would like to see more regulation.
Yes.
I'm a big compliance nerd. I had to do GDPR early on because I was at a large global corporation. So as Europe goes, so should go the world, I think. So they're starting to do some AI regulation that I would like to see that in the U.S. Yeah. But I think it's hard because we're such a pioneer country that we want to try all the different things, and you don't want to limit that. But I think it'll be important, especially as we see AI being used for bad actors. My partner actually works in cybersecurity, and he's seeing it used for that, and for high-scale attacks on corporations. So I think as we see that, it's kind of a double-edged sword, blessing and a curse. We got to balance usage.
Is AI affecting project management?
It is. So we have an AI-based tool. We're a little bit different because it's not like a chat. It's not generative where you would just talk to it.
Right.
Because we're a deterministic model, and so we're looking at all the data graphs, and it's a lot of like complex if-then. So if you think about a project having 50 tickets in 3 different phases and all this should happen before that, AI really struggles with that.
Interesting.
So it's hard. You can use AI and say, write me a project scope, tell me what a project should look like. But most AI can't handle the project while it's running, which is kind of where we come in, and we can really help MSPs use that deterministic AI to say, hey, so-and-so just went on emergency medical leave. Here's everybody else's availability, skills match, the most urgent tickets, all of that kind of stuff, so you can get back on track faster. Because we can read that, like, this should be happening after that, which just putting it in ChatGPT would struggle with.
When MSPs are choosing, when they've made up their mind, we need to go with project management platform, what questions should they be asking?
First off, does it integrate with their PSA? I am a big, believer in it makes no sense to be doing duplicate entry. So, and it's really important that whoever you're using is working with the PSA vendor to make sure the data is fully mapping into the right areas, so you can have all of your billables and your finance stuff and your contracts as they're created, like flowing back and forth. And then I think behind that is just the structure and visibility you're going to have. A lot of the PSAs lack because you can't see the portfolio, all the projects at once.
Oh, really?
And if you're getting a very light tool where you wouldn't be able to see that either, there's not a lot of benefit. Like if you still have to click in and out of each project and update tickets one by one, it makes it really painful. So definitely something to think about. But I think on a personal level, like the MSPs level, not necessarily vetting the vendor, but are you ready for it?
Right.
Do you have a project manager or coordinator or someone that might become that? And how many projects do you run?
Interesting.
Because it might be a little too much for you if you don't run that many projects yet, or you haven't hired the staff that's like dedicated to actually learning project management practices.
Because I see this happening with some MSPs where they just think the tool is going to take care of the problem.
Exactly. And that's kind of a big thing we try to talk with people about. Like, it's not just going to like turn on and run.
Right.
We're very much about semi-autonomous. Like we have an automated scheduler called Smart Schedule, sorry. But someone still has to click the button and accept the dates. You can't just, the system's not just going to do it and then keep redoing it and have the tickets change a bunch of times. Like we still want someone to oversee it and see the risk
Right.
and prioritize like the projects, which are your A customers versus your B or C. You need someone that kind of knows that internally. They don't have to be a PMP or like a high level certified person. A lot of MSPs have a lot of success graduating a tech over into a project role, especially with our software. There's some guardrails and a coach in there, Coach Carmen, that can kind of help you through. But you do need that dedicated resource if you're really going to get good at projects and increase your project maturity.
So generally the obstacle is more about educating the MSP or the small business that they need project management software, not that they actually need your platform.
Yeah, I think it's honestly educating them to begin with that they need projects.
Right.
So Service Leadership Index, their report they do every year, they actually had a section last year where they talked about MSPs just starting out will use projects to get new recurring revenue. So like they'll use it as an inroads, but it's kind of a U-shape. As they get more advanced, people will use it to expand their revenue.
Wow.
And we see that being very true. Like some of our larger MSPs we work with, projects are somewhere where you can fill like engineers that have white space on their calendar, use that backlog. Hey, you're going to need this upgrade in the next 6 months no matter what. We have time this month. Do you want to do it? And they use that to really fill and optimize their time so they're getting the most out of their headcount.
And that really is the key, getting the most out of their head count.
Exactly. It's how you optimize and use your labor these days, especially with such labor shortages that MSPs are facing, skills shortages, having that ability to kind of optimize, make sure you don't have anyone sitting idle in your shop, especially on the project side, is really important. And having that forecasting capability that you can't really do always in a PSA.
Yeah, forecasting. Want to show your love for discipline, inspiration, and the Joey Pinz podcast? Now's your chance. Introducing the brand new Joey Pinz merch store, where style meets discipline. Choose from premium apparel, cozy hoodies, stylish hats, durable bags, and your new favorite coffee mug, all featuring the iconic Joey Pinz logo. Perfect for podcast fans, discipline enthusiasts, or as unique gifts for friends and family. Every purchase supports the Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations podcast, helping us continue to inspire greatness and promote positive change. Visit joeypinz.com/store today and wear your discipline proudly. Joey Pinz merch. Wear it, share it, and live it. Yeah, really important. Really important. So, okay, I started my MSP back in the 90s.
Okay.
I was working way too hard. I'm a little bit older than you. And, well, maybe very much older. And
just a little bit.
And, you know, I was working way too hard, not working out, not exercising. And doctor tells me I'm at 340 pounds. I'd gained all this terrible weight.
Yeah.
She tells me if I don't lose the weight, I'm not going to see my daughter graduate. It's a terrible thing. So I lost about 130 pounds. In about 6-7 months.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
You. It is. Yeah, I was a 46-inch waist. Now I'm 32. And by the way, every once in a while, I feel that 340-pound guy inside me trying to get out, you know? So when I tell people about this, they always say, what's your secret? What you do? And I always say, it's just discipline, just motivation, willpower. How does discipline play a role in your life, Kate?
I think for me, it's the discipline of showing up for the community. I was actually talking to another vendor about this morning, and
really,
it's hard the larger your company gets, and I've got employees back home sending me messages, and we need stuff approved and stuff. But I'm here and I'm on site, and I want to be there and talk with people. I volunteer in the community, and I think that's a huge cornerstone. Every industry I've been in, I'm a big believer in giving back to the industry. Our CEO does that. He's on the GTIA AI Council. I do it with MSP Geek. I help market for MSP GeekCon every year.
Really?
And I think for me, there's a discipline in like showing up for the community. As a marketer, it's not just, pushing the buttons and running the ads. I think showing up and listening and being there for people is really important. And I try to be really disciplined in that, especially when I'm on site at things like this and not just, I may want to go sit in my room, and I may do that for a little bit. Everyone needs to rewind.
Deflate.
Everyone needs to relax and, kind of hang out. But I do think it's important to like go out there, grab a coffee with someone, meet someone new, talk to someone you may not have talked to before, and put that effort into the community because it'll come back in spades.
Yeah, it sure will. So your message to MSPs this week at this big ITNation is what?
Your projects do not have to be chaos. If you focus on automated project timelines and you are looking for clarity and you're looking for control in your processes so you can have better outcomes, better delivery, better project budgets and margins, because a lot of people are struggling with margins.
Yes.
Talk to us. Whether you're ready for it or you're just wanting to learn about projects and you may be a year or two down the road, we're happy. We're here to help because we want everyone to have better project management.
Very cool. Kay, thank you so much for your time. Anybody watching or listening, they want to get in touch with you, how do they do so?
You can find me on LinkedIn. It's thegenerallinkedin.com / and then it's Kate Schlarf, SCHLARF.
Very good, Kate. Always a pleasure. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypinz.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations.